guys, Jimmy here. Today I'll be talking about some very classic albums on CD I have. And I'll just be talking about some of my favorite songs off each album. And just some very famous songs in general by the artist. And yeah, we'll be doing this in chronological order. As you can see, you have two stacks. This is the beginning and this is the end. So yeah, let's start with the first stack. Starting with Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. So this particular CD is released in the year 1985, I believe, but this original album is released in 1967. And Bob Dylan is a very famous, soloist for rock back in the 60s, and he had plenty of great songs. Great songs off this album are like Rainy Day, Woman, 12 and 35, Blowing in the Wind, Times They Are Changing, Like a Rolling Stone, Mr. Tambourine Man, and I Want You. So yeah, this is a Columbia release. That is the disc. If you want to learn more about Bob Dylan, you can always go on Wikipedia or on other websites to learn about him. I don't know that much information about him, so, I can't give you guys that much information. If I say some, not correct stuff, please, correct me in the comments, because, I'm still learning with you guys. So, yeah, Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. Moving on to Led Zeppelin, simply named Led Zeppelin. This is Led Zeppelin's first album, and as you can see, it's released in 1994, but this album is originally released in 1969, but this is a CD remaster in 1994. And for a debut album for Led Zeppelin, this is a great debut album. And there are plenty of great songs on here. Good songs include Good Times, Bad Times, Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, Dazed and Confused, very good song. Black Mountain Sides, also very good. So that is the CD. As you can see, it's not a original copy. Released in 1994. This is the booklet. Very good. I'm highly impressed with Led Zeppelin's music skills. Musically, this album interests me. And yeah, for a debut album, sheesh, amazing album. Led Zeppelin, just simply named Led Zeppelin. Moving on to Rod Stewart's Gasoline Alley. As you probably know already, I have plenty of Rod Stewart albums, I'll get to later. And Rod Stewart is a very famous artist. You probably heard his songs before, but you probably don't know, Rod Stewart actually wrote and sang those songs. So yeah, Gasoline Alley is a very, classic album by Rod Stewart, and the title track, Gasoline Alley, is absolutely amazing. And this was released in the year 1970, and other great songs on this album includes It's All Over Now, Only a Hobo. Only a Hobo is written by Bob Dylan, actually. Cut Across Shorty, Lady Day, and yeah. This is a very good album to begin with, so there's not really a bad song on here. And yeah, this is not very easy to find. Plus, this is a original copy, which is even harder to find. Gasoline Alley. And this is the booklet. Rod Stewart, and some information inside the booklet. Overall, a very, very classic and one of my favorite Rod Stewart albums. Rod Stewart, Gasoline Alley. Moving on to Led Zeppelin, the fourth album, or the untitled album. You can call it any way you like, but I like to call it Led Zeppelin IV. And this, fortunately, I got this as a original. I am very pleased. And great songs include Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven. Amazing, amazing song. Probably my top 10 greatest hits, ever for rock and roll. And Going to California. When the Levee Breaks, also great songs as well. This is produced by Jimmy Page, released in the year 1971. And this is the side. Led Zeppelin IV, very, very solid album. As a CD. So you can see no coloring, which basically means it's a original copy. And the track listing, I really like the font they use for this album. It's kind of handwriting, but not very handwriting. It's just kind of, it's a really old style font, but it's really good. Some symbols for the remastered album. The singles are on the side. It's like Led Zeppelin and these four like symbols. That's for the remastered disc, but for the original, it's just simply named Led Zeppelin. It also has the lyrics for A Stairway to Heaven. Very, very solid. Very, very solid album. Then you would probably say like Led Zeppelin's most famous album or like greatest album by Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think it's an amazing album. Yeah, Led Zeppelin IV. Moving on to Simon and Garfunkel's greatest hits. I reviewed this album before, but you know, I just started listening to like Simon and Garfunkel at that time, and I didn't really, you know, like them as much as I do now. Now when I listen to this, there are plenty of great songs. To start off with, this is released in 1972, and my favorite song of this album for sure is Bridge Over Troubled Water. That's just a great song. The lyrics are amazing. You know, Paul Simon's like you know, his work of art for lyrics, and you know, Arthur's vocals just is very good duo, you know. Simon and Garfunkel, you can't really find a duo as good as them. So yeah, besides Bridge Over Troubled Water, Miss Robinson is also a very good song. The Boxer, The Sound of Silence, I Am a Rock, Scarborough Fair / Canticle, very good song. And also El Condor Pasa, If I Could, also a very, very good song. There are many like classic songs on here, and like The Sound of Silence, one of the most covered songs ever. And in the 60s, Simon and Garfunkel actually claimed to be one of the best bands in the 60s. Like, the Beatles were the first, but many claim that they like Simon and Garfunkel better than the Beatles. And yeah, that's just their opinion. I still like the Beatles better because, you know, they had like so many #1 hits. And yeah, that's the side of the CD. That's the CD. And inside the booklet, as I reviewed before, just a track listing. And yeah, very simplistic design for the CD. Columbia did a really good job like replicating the, you know, the front cover and, you know, the Columbian logo and a compact disc digital audio system logo. Very good. Very, you know, very accurately reproduced by Columbia Records, and I'm highly impressed with Simon and Garfunkel. So yeah, moving on to Paul Simon's debut album released in the year 1972 as well. There are many, many great songs. For a debut album, I'm highly impressed with Paul Simon because I always thought Paul Simon was not the one that's singing the song, but writing the songs. But, you know, if you listen to his debut albums, he wrote the songs and sang the songs himself. So that is very, very cool. And then I think all these songs are great. Starting off with Mother and Child Reunion, great song. Duncan, very good song. Armistice Day, yeah, very good. Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard, a very, like a fan favorite. Peace Like a River, Papa Hobo, Hobo's Blues, Paranoia Blues, also a great song. Congratulations, also a great song. So yeah, this is released by Warner Bros. In 1972. The CD, however, is released in 1973, as you can see there. And the booklet is very good. Kind of reminds you of the vinyl, you know. His vinyl is very similar. Picture a very thick booklet, very nice. The lyrics. All these like earlier CDs are reproduced really good on CD, and they sound absolutely amazing. So you should check out CDs. If you're just collecting CDs or you've been collecting for a while, you know what I mean. And yeah, CDs are just a pleasure to collect. So yeah, Paul Simon's debut album. Moving on to Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. This is also a very classic Led Zeppelin album, released in the year 1973. And great songs on here include The Song Remains the Same, the Rain Song, No Quarter, and Dancing Days. Amazing songs. And yeah, this is a CD, another original Led Zeppelin disc. Original Led Zeppelin discs are not that easy to find, and if you find one, like whatever album you find that is original, I kind of recommend you to pick it up and just listen to it, because the original remixes for, you know, all the original Led Zeppelin albums are amazing, so you should definitely check it out. This is a booklet. all the lyrics, and yeah, very good. Also one of my Led Zeppelin favorites, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. Moving on to Eagles' Desperado. I got this album recently and I enjoyed it a lot because, you know, the title track Desperado just blew me away when I first listened to it. But other songs like Tequila Sunrise, Out of Control, A Certain Kind of Fool, Doolin Dalton, amazing song, instrumental, Doolin Dalton / Desperado Reprise is also a very good song. This was released in the year 1973 by Elektra Records. That is the CD. Very pleased to get another Eagles, update for my Eagles collection. I do not have that much CDs. Yeah. So, looking in the booklet, Eagles Desperado. Not that much information. Unlike Eagles Hotel California, it does contain the Hotel California lyrics, but this does not contain the Desperado lyrics. So, yeah. Very pleased to get Eagles Desperado. Yeah. Moving on to Elton John's greatest hits. Elton John is also a very famous, artist. He's known for a lot of Grammy Awards in the 90s and some more Grammy Awards in the 70s. This album is released in the year 1974. This is a compilation rather than an album. Great songs on here include Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Rocket Man, obviously Rocket Man, Your Song, and Honky Cat. Those are all great songs. You probably have some more favorites on here than I do because I don't really listen to Elton John that much. I just decided to grab this compilation to, just a little sneak peek in his music. I don't enjoy his music as much as the other bands, but still a very, very iconic, artist. That's the inside of the booklet. And yeah, I managed to get this on Polydor Records. And yeah, Elton John's greatest hits. Moving on to Eagles Hotel California. You probably know the song Hotel California. It is everywhere on YouTube. Like a lot of compilations, like classic rock songs include Hotel California. Well, this is the album for Hotel California, also titled Hotel California, so that's really cool. This album contains 3 #1 hits, including Hotel California, the title track, New Kid in Town, Life in a Fast Lane. Some of my favorites on here include The Last Resort, Victim of Love, Life in a Fast Lane, and Hotel California. This was released in the year 1976, and that is the CD, released by Elektra as well. That's the inside of the booklet. Very, very nice, handwriting font. Photo of Eagles, and the lyrics for Hotel California. I highly recommend you to check out Hotel California if you haven't already. You can also comment down below if you like the song or not. And yeah, Hotel California by Eagles. Moving on to Led Zeppelin, the soundtrack from the film, the song remains the same. So this was released in the year 1976. Most of these songs are released, are live from 1973. Then they edited the songs and, to kind of edit it so they can fit into the film perfectly. And these are the songs that are put into the film. And so yeah, these are very good songs, very good selection. And the live, usually people doesn't really like live songs, but this live album is really good, Stairway to Heaven, No Quarter, Whole Lot of Love, Dazed and Confused, The Rain Song, Song Remains the Same, Celebration Day, Rock and Roll, very good selection. That's the first CD. That's the second CD. And looking in the booklet, very shiny booklet, and there's not that much information in there. Yeah. Led Zeppelin, the soundtrack from the film, the song remains the same. So yeah. Moving on to Rod Stewart's greatest hits. This is released in the year 1979, And, you know, Rod Stewart had plenty of great songs, and these are all very, very, very good. Each song is very, very well done by Rod Stewart. And Maggie May, great song. Hot Legs, also great song. Do You Think I'm Sexy? Great song. Here in My Heart. Sailing, I Don't Want to Talk About It. Tonight's the Night. The First Cut is the Deepest. And yeah, highly impressed with Rod Stewart, because this has been a couple years after Rod Stewart released his first album. I think The Old Raincoat or something like that was released in 1969. So this was the first 10 years of Rod Stewart's career. And so yeah, highly impressed with Rod Stewart. And he released many great songs in the 80s as well, like including Forever Young, Every Beat of My Heart, also a great song. So yeah, very simple booklet, and the CD is very good as well. Rod Stewart Greatest Hits. Moving on to ACDC, Highway to Hell. This is also a very classic ACDC album, besides like Back in Black. That's probably the most famous ACDC album. So, great songs on here include like the title track, Highway to Hell, Girls Got Rhythm, Walk All Over You, If You Want Blood, You Got It. This is released in 1979, and this is a Germany pressing. As you can see, lots of scratches on this disc. That's why I got this for very, very cheap. Even though you can still listen to it, it's just, you know, it's not very good in condition wise. But, you know, I just like listening to music. I don't really care about, you know, the version or like how it looks. So yeah, that's the booklet. Classic 1979 Highway to Hell by ACDC. Moving on to Back in Black by ACDC. This is hands down probably ACDC's most popular album, studio album. This is released in the year 1980, but this is not an original copy. The original copy has a bigger ACDC, you know, ACDC logo, and Back in Black is a lot bigger as well. This is just a remastered version, but it's not like a pretty, in like the 2000s remaster. This is just a 90s remaster. So yeah, great songs on here. Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, Back in Black, the title track, You Shook Me All Night Long, Shake a Leg, also a great song. So you can see there's coloring on the CD, which basically tells you that it's not a original and rather just a later release, not really a remaster, because, you know, there wasn't remasters in the 1990s. Yeah, ACDC Back in Black. Moving on to Eagles Greatest Hits Volume 2. This is also a pretty, you know, early disc I got, and this, I believe, is a original because, you know, there is this little thing I didn't peel off because when I first got it, this was on there, and I bought this as a second-hand store, so this wasn't when I got it because I'm not that old, and it seems to be someone bought it off Sound Exchange, and they bought it on March 20th, 1980 something. So this is a pretty original copy, released in 1982, and great songs on here. Like, do I even have to say it? Every song is basically amazing, masterpiece. So yeah, released in the year 1982, released by Asylum Records, and yeah, the disc, however, is made in Japan. That's really cool. I love Japanese discs because they're just very well designed and very simply, yet like the condition wise is all very good. That's the booklet. Yeah. Eagles Greatest Hits Volume 2. I do not have Volume 1, which a lot of people say is better, but I think this one is better because it includes a lot of the bigger hits though. So yeah. Moving on to the second stack. We're flying through this. This is the second stack already, starting with Rod Stewart's Absolutely Live. So this is released in the year 1982, like the same as Eagles Greatest Hits, and holy mackerel, there are 17 songs on here, and all these songs are really good. Some songs like Stay With Me include with Kim Carnes and Tina Turner. And yeah, like those songs are just Rod Stewart with other people singing that song, which is very cool how they did that. So yeah, it's live, so I really don't have anything to say about this. You know, all the songs are very classic, and live doesn't usually sound as good as the studio recorded. That's why there's studios, and yeah, very good album to begin with. That is the CD, and the booklet. If I can get the booklet out, it's kind of stuck. I'm struggling with these booklets. There we go. So that's the booklet. Track listing, Rod Stewart, more pictures, and Cruel But Fair and stuff. So yeah. Released by Warner Bros. In 1982. Absolutely live. Moving on to a very famous album, Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. So this is a very, very classic and iconic album, as I said before. Released in the year 1984, and great songs are like the title track, Cover Me, Downbound Train, No Surrender, Glory Days, Dancing in the Dark, and My Hometown. So Bruce Springsteen is kind of like a country and very hard rock. You know, I really like his songs. Like his great songs include like Streets of Philadelphia and Human Touch, which we'll get to later. And so yeah, this is a Colombian release. However, the disc does have coloring, but I'm like 90% sure this is a original copy, because I've seen original copies that have coloring on it. And so yeah, the booklet's really good. I really like these Colombian release booklets because they usually contain the lyrics and basically nothing else. So yeah, very, very solid album, and yeah, highly impressed with Bruce Springsteen's. Yeah, moving on to Billy Joel's greatest hits, or Billy Joel, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So yeah, Billy Joel is a early kind of jazz. I don't really know how to say it. He has a lot of piano in his music and a lot of instruments, and it's kind of jazzy. So I like to call him kind of jazz and rocky. So yeah, this is released in the year 1985, and it contains 2 discs. The first one include 1973 to 1977, so that era, and the second disc include 1978 to 1985, like around that. So the first song, Piano Man, is probably his most covered song. It has like a music video on YouTube and everything. It's very good. Captain Jack, also a very good song. And second disc also has plenty of great songs. I don't have the time to cover all these songs, but all these are very classic, so I definitely recommend you to check him out. Billy Joel, give him some attention, and yeah, booklet. And these lyrics are very small, so it's pretty hard to see. But you can zoom in on the screen. You can just double tap the screen and zoom in if you want to see any of the lyrics. So yeah, Billy Joel's greatest hits, Volume 1 and 2. Moving on to Paul Simon's Graceland. I've heard many people said this was Paul and Simon and Paul and Arthur and Simon and Garfunkel's like best album. So it includes Simon and Garfunkel albums, Paul's like solo albums, Arthur's solo albums. Combined, this is the greatest album. I don't totally agree with that. I definitely like Bridge Over Troubled Water better. Bridge Over Troubled Water I don't have, but it's a very, very good album. And Paul Simon, Graceland, is also pretty amazing in my opinion, but not as good as Bridge Over Troubled Water. This is released in the year 1986, and great songs on here include The Boy in the Bubble, Graceland, the title track, You Can Call Me Al, Under African Skies, and That Was Your Mother. So yeah, a lot of classic songs off this album. And the booklet includes all the lyrics. It's a pretty thick booklet, and yeah. Very, very good album. Paul Simon, Graceland. Moving on to Rod Stewart's one of his greatest albums, in my opinion, Every Beat of My Heart. So, this album is released in the year 1986. However, this version is released in 1996. As I said before, this is a Argentina pressing. This is not very easy to find, an Argentina pressing, and very good songs on this album, like Another Heartache, the title track, and In My Life is a cover song of the Beatles' In My Life, which is one of my favorite Beatles songs. So yeah, Rod Stewart, Every Beat of My Heart, and looking inside the booklet, it's a weird texture, the booklet, as I said before. It's kind of rubbery, and it's kind of just, ASMR. Doesn't sound that good, I can't really complain. It's a very good album. And, I don't really care about how this album looks, rather than, just how this album sounds is what I'm looking for. So, yeah. Rod Stewart's Every Beat of My Heart. Moving on to Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel of Love. As you can see, I already reviewed Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. This is also one of his, popular albums. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. This was released in the year 1987. And great songs on here. One of my favorites are like Tougher Than the Rest, a very good song. Ain't Got You, Tunnel of Love, the title track. Walk Like a Man, One Step Up is also a very good song. This is a USA pressing, so it's not Canadian. So, I live in Canada, so it's hard for me to come across pressings from different countries. But the United States ones are pretty common here because a lot of the CDs are imported to Canada from the US. So yeah, very good album overall. Honestly, I like this better than Born in the USA, just because his music kind of matured over just 3 years, and yeah. I like Bruce Springsteen's later albums than his earlier albums, so yeah. Moving on to Arthur Garfunkel's album Garfunkel. So yeah, this album does have a lot of classic songs because this is kind of a compilation. See, it legit says a warning. It's this compact disc contains previously released material, and yeah, my favorite song of this album includes When a Man Loves a Woman and All I Know. This album's released in 1988. Looking at the CD, this is another US pressing. And the booklet is very nice. Little introduction about Arthur and his history and some of his albums he released. I don't consider this as an album, but it's still very classic, and that's why I added to this list a lot of classic albums. So far, you guys probably realize I don't have any Beatles albums, or Pink Floyd albums, or U2 albums. That's because, I review them separately because they're my favorite bands ever. So, I reviewed them separately, and this video I just have a lot of classic albums besides the Beatles, U2, and Pink Floyd. So, yeah. If you noticed that, good job. And if you stick to me all the way through, that's amazing. If you drop a like and a follow, that'll also mean the world to me. So thank you so much for following me. Yeah, let's continue reviewing these. So moving on is ACDC's Razor's Edge, released in the year 1990. The first track, Thunderstruck, is amazing. It's one of the most covered songs by ACDC, on YouTube, over 1 billion views, and yeah. There's nothing that much to talk about this album. Very good album. Probably their second or third most famous album by AC/DC. The first probably AC/DC Back in Black. Then the second one's probably this or Highway to Hell. Third one's definitely Thunderstruck though. No, Razor's Edge. That's what I meant. Sorry. So that's the CD, and looking inside the booklet, there's nothing much. It's kind of like a flap, not really a booklet. About AC/DC, and yeah, just who produced the album and who engineered it, who the co-producers are, and yeah, AC/DC, The Razor's Edge. Moving on to Michael Jackson, Dangerous. I do not have Michael Jackson Thriller, which is more of a classic album than this one, but this album cover is just very iconic, so I do have a Michael Jackson album, and I just want to review it for you guys. This is not really a rock album, more of a, it's kind of rock, it's kind of pop, you know. It's kind of like upbeat, you know. Have very good rhythms. Michael Jackson's Dangerous, released in the year 1991, and great songs on here include like Jam, Why You Wanna Trip on Me, Remember the Time, Heal the World, probably my favorite song, Black or White. So yeah, that is the CD, and this is the booklet. Booklet includes all the lyrics and some very cool designs. And yeah, this is still one of Michael Jackson's more famous albums. And yeah, I'm really pleased to get this. Michael Jackson Dangerous. Moving on to Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion. So, Guns N' Roses, a very like popular band in like the 80s and 90s. And yeah, his very famous songs include like November Rain, probably the most famous, and yeah, that's about it. I don't really dive into Guns N' Roses as much as the other artists, but you know, I still enjoy them as a band. I do like their designs. This was released in the year 1991. That is the CD. I enjoyed the CD design because it's very simple, and the booklet does have the lyrics. And it does have a lot of photos. I like the photo layouts though, you know. Pretty creative. And yeah, more lyrics. And this is, I'm not sure, but this might be the Guns N' Roses, you know, logo, or just, you know, the Pink Floyd has a logo, and the Beatles also does have one. So, not sure if this is their logo or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm still an amateur on collecting, you know, Guns N' Roses albums. I do not have any more besides, you know, Use Your Illusion, because I heard this is, you know, Guns N' Roses' most popular album. So yeah. Moving on to really famous album, almost like a concept album, Nirvana, Nevermind. Also, this is one of the most influential albums of all time. So yeah, this was released in 1991, and great songs on here include like Smells Like Teen Spirit, In Bloom, Come As You Are, Breed, Lithium, Polly, Drain You, and Something in the Way. So yeah, Nevermind, this is a very famous album. If you don't know what Nevermind is, I mean, come on, this is a very influential album. So yeah, picture of Nirvana, some lyrics, written in this like wavy style, which is also, you know, the side. If you haven't seen, you know, the side, never mind that the font is also kind of wavy. I think that's why he did this in a wavy font. And track listing, and yeah, some information. Picture Nirvana, another picture of Nirvana. Nirvana hasn't been a band for that long. They only had like 4 studio albums or something. They did have some more live albums though, and many would say this is probably their most greatest album, or just most famous album. I totally agree with them, because, you know, I don't have any more Nirvana stuff. And yeah, I just got this like a couple days ago, and I started listening to it, and it blew me away. So yeah. You can comment down below, how do you feel about Nirvana? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Or you never listen to them? Please comment down below, because, you know, I love interacting with people, and love answering your questions, and love, like, you know, just sharing stuff, you know. Yeah. Moving on to some Queen discs. I have Classic Queen and Queen's Greatest Hits. As you can probably see, these designs are very similar, which I would say these are basically from the same set. And, you know, Queen is a very famous rock band. And these discs are both released in the year 1992, and great songs on here, you know. Very good songs. For Classic Queen, great songs in here include I Kind of Magic, Bohemian Rhapsody, Under Pressure, Radio Gaga, and Your One Vision. So looking in the, you know, booklet, some very good photos, some, you know, album covers. Very good. I really like, you know, the Queen's booklets, because they usually contain a lot of information. And, you know, I love informative booklets because, you know, I get to learn something new. Classic Queen, and moving on to Queen's Greatest Hits. All these songs are great. Like, you probably heard We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. Another one, Bite to Dusk, also a great song. Killer Queen, Bicycle Ride, and a crazy little thing called Love. So this is the booklet. It's very similar to, you know, Classic Queen's booklet because these are from the same set. Yeah, very. This is a better condition than, you know, Classic Queen, because I got Classic Queen for less than $1 and got this one for $1 or something like that. So yeah, very good set. Classic Queen and Queen's Greatest Hits. Moving on to second last album I have, Human Touch by Bruce Springsteen. This is very good album, released in the year 1992. Great songs include the title track, Human Touch, Gloria's Eyes, Cross My Heart with Every Wish, and, you know, just very good songs in general. So yeah, that is the CD. And the booklet is also very good because it includes all the lyrics for the song. And Human Touch is probably one of my favorite Bruce Springsteen songs. But I do like Streets of Philadelphia better because of its simplicity and the lyrics. Very, like, you know, very just heartwarming and just very influential. Bruce Springsteen's Human Touch. And the last album I have for you guys today is The Best of Bob Dylan. You guys are probably like, wait, don't you have Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, so why would you get another one? This is technically not the same one because it includes 16 songs, and some songs are not included on the other album. So, you know, songs are like, you know, like Knocking on Heaven's Door, All Along the Watchtower, and Forever Young. Those are great songs that are not included on Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. This is released in the year 2005, I believe, or 2008. And it does not contain a booklet, but it does contain this weird looking, you know, trifold in this weird thing. Yeah. It does claim that this disc is non-breakable. I don't know what that means, but I'm not even gonna break it, you know. Maybe people experiment trying to break this, but I'm not like a person like that, so yeah. Really enjoy this. The Best of Bob Dylan. That is all the discs I have for you today, and holy man, that's a lot of discs, so make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Bye, kiddos. Have a great day.